Good morning. I don't even know what to say to enter my podcast, honestly. And I'm not about to pretend like I do. So we're just going to jump right in and say happy, welcome, or whatever to episode 2. I'm excited because I've decided to rely more on my discipline, obviously, than motivation to stay consistent on this podcast. Because I'm going to be completely honest, I have my days where I start things and I don't know how to finish because I lose that motivation. And I'm a mom, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm a work from home mom, I'm a single mom, well, solo mom, and it's a lot. And I do have excuses, but I've learned to pivot. So, welcome to episode 2 and cheers to learning to pivot and staying consistent even when you want to be in the bed all day because that seasonal depression is right around the corner. Actually, no. We are not claiming that this year. And that brings me into the topic of this week's episode. Think big, bih. I don't even want to say the word because I don't want to get flagged or whatever. But this week's episode, I wanted to focus on a theme that I've been learning through preparing to go back to school for psychology and learning through research and videos and the content that I've been consuming lately that surrounds the energy waves that you put out to attract the life that you know you deserve. And even if you don't know you deserve it or feel like you deserve it, the life that you want. Because I believe wholeheartedly, whether you are secure within yourself or not, if you genuinely want something, I feel like wanting that, sometimes waiting for you to get to the point of thinking, I deserve this, can stand in the way of it coming to you. Stop waiting to be the most secure in yourself and to no longer have insecurities and to have the this and the that and the to be happy and to attract things to yourself. So this week's episode is surrounding the energy waves we're putting out. And yesterday, I had a conversation with a few of my family members and we got into the conversation surrounding neuroscience. And it's because I obsess over the human mind, whether it be psychology, psychiatry, whether it be, manifestation, spirituality, religion. I obsess over how humans think and develop. And it causes me to obsess about how I think and how I heal. And it's actually helped me heal because through learning about neuroscience, I have learned so much about what we attract just from our brain and how our brain, the Sims game and our brain are literally one and the same. The same way that we can sit and whether it be on your computer, your game, whatever it is, and conjure up all of these dope ideas and houses and lifestyles and storylines through the Sims game, we can do that in life. And as a lover of Sims, shout out to all my Sims girlies. As a lover of Sims, I've come to realize that the more you play games or you do things that are without fear and without negativity in games like The Sims or just journaling your manifestations or whatever, I feel like the easier it is and the faster it is to kind of become your real life, if that makes sense. But I feel like gaming puts you in a childlike state without fear or doubt. I feel like when you're in the Sims game and you're building a house, you're not doubtful on whether you can afford it. I mean, at times you are because the Sims is the Sims, but when you can't afford it, you're not doubtful that you don't deserve it or who's going to talk about you for having this house or about how you dress and stuff like that. Like you can literally, if you really know how to play The Sims and if you're anything like me, you like to cut corners sometimes too, you can have anything you really want in that game and you're not thinking about how it affects anyone else. And that's how life is once you start to get to the point of realizing I genuinely am in control of my own brain and my own reality with just my brain. And your brain is like ground beef sitting in your skull just there, and it doesn't weigh much. It's small, but it's the mightiest part about you. It controls everything. But we learn in school for the most part that our brain controls our body and our functions and our, senses. But we're not often taught that it controls the world. You know, each one of us is instilled with a level of control. And that's why I tie science and spirituality together, or religion or whatever together in a way, because as a Gotti girl, I call myself a God girl, Gotti girl, I'm God's girl. I genuinely believe that, one, obviously God is not a person, place, or thing. I believe God is the power vested in us, in our brains. And each one of us has a certain power just off of how we can use our brains and our energy waves that was given to us by God, by the source. And when I know I sound crazy because you're like, girl, are you high? Like you deep. But hear me out. I believe that just tapping into that realization that God is within me. You know, what we look to as God, what we pray to as God is a part of us. And even when we pray and we say amen, it means, I believe it means so it is, or it is so, or something along the lines of putting out into the universe and saying, I accept that it's there. It exists now. This prayer is in fruition. I'm basically praying from a place of, thank you in advance. I think that we all possess those energy waves that when we put those prayers out there, manifestations or whatever, we put that energy out there. And nothing around us, none of us are solid. All of us are energy waves that vibrate on different frequencies, And your prayers and manifestations are frequencies also. The same way that we were frequencies that were strong enough to, form like a human, or say, for instance, a tree. That's frequencies that are forming into, or atoms or whatever, forming into a solid object, but it's not truly solid. Think of your dreams like that. Think of the home you want like that. Something was strong enough to conjure all of our energetic forces or waves or whatever into what we are standing in the mirror looking at. That's the same thing that your brain does. Your brain, when used properly, your mind, when trained properly, can genuinely conjure up anything you want for yourself, for the good of all and to the harm of none. Because, there are supervillains out here in my mind. There are people that do not use their brain power for the right thing. But when used well with good intention, I genuinely believe for myself, anything that I want can be created because I've seen it happen. And not just from dreams or like I heard one day, sorry, I'm gonna, for context. One day I don't know, a video I believe came up about Oprah. And it was saying how she's a powerful manifester or something like that. And it was saying that Oprah has said before, I don't know if it was in an article, but she said that in order to have the life she wants or anything that she wants, she just says it and doesn't think about it again. She just throws it out there. And once it's in the air, it's in the air. She doesn't think about it. She doesn't ask herself, okay, so what do I have to do to get it? She just says, I have it. And it is, so it is. And I believe that when it comes to just putting that energy out there and just believing it, the belief is it is the highest to me, just wave, energetic force, belief, faith. And so for myself, I used to say I wanted such and such, and then I would ask myself, why do I want it, or how was I going to get it, and things like that. But all of the things that I said that I wanted and questioned, I do not have right now. But everything that I've ever said that I wanted to someone, even if it was just in passing or a conversation, is in front of me right now. Like, I'm looking at my blessings as I'm recording. I'm not on camera today because I just don't feel like it. But as I'm sitting here recording, I'm recording from the computer I told someone that I wanted years ago that I didn't even question whether I would get it. I said, I'm going to get this specific computer, and I got it. I said when I was in the shelter, I was like telling people when we would talk about the houses we want, in my head, I would always build my reality like The Sims in my head. And I would always say, anywhere I live, I have to have big windows. Because me as a person that's susceptible to depression, I believe that I need constant sunlight, constant access to the outside world. I just need to be able to see lifing. I need to be able to see cars and water and trees and buildings. And I just need a reminder that I'm alive all the time. And so windows are very important for me. And I always tell people this story. I remember having a conversation with a guy that I was, getting to know in the shelter. If you ever heard of Cove Love, then you know what I'm talking about. But I remember having a conversation and we were just talking about what we wanted when we got out the shelter. And I was like, I need a place with big windows. I need an open floor plan. I need a kitchen that I can cook in and be happy and be able to play music. And I need, my house to always smell good. I want hardwood floors. I want it to be just bright and, lively or whatever. And I look around right now and I'm describing my current reality. But I said this back in 2014 and it's 2025, And I didn't say it with doubt of how I was going to get it. I just was speaking so far into the future for me mentally that I just knew that by that time I had no excuse on not getting it. I couldn't say that it was going to happen the next day, but I just knew it was going to happen. And when I was a kid, we used to have these exercises, I believe in like third grade, where we would do storytelling or we would draw a picture and then we would pass it around the class. Like everybody would trade the pictures we drew and then we would write a story about it. And one time I believe my picture came back to me and my picture was of me in a penthouse and I titled it Pin House, P-I-N house. And I had never been in a penthouse in third grade. I don't even know where I've ever seen a penthouse or where I heard about one, but I just knew like penthouse. And it was a picture of me standing in my big windows and I don't know what I was doing, but it was just a picture of me in a high rise or in Manhattan or something like that. I knew it was in the city because I had the city buildings around me. And it's like, there was a common theme of me saying like, this is my life. And I wrote the little story about the picture describing my life in the future. For me, I realized that when you put things out there, even if you're a child, whatever, the universe conjures around it. Anytime you're thinking, I want this type of life, I want this type of house, I want this type of man, the universe makes room for that to happen. That's also why you have to be careful about the negativity that you exude, or I would say radiate, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but energy can be manipulated, I believe. If you are a scientist and I'm saying it wrong, correct me, please. But I believe that when you put something out into the universe, whether it be good or bad, your timeline shifts, So you could have a long, lengthy life ahead already written in the books, but you could start to obsess over a certain sickness and a certain sickness you may have seen someone else have. And then you start having this fear and this anxiety of, what if I have this or could I have this? And what if I got this? And then you start to ruminate over this sickness. I believe that the universe starts shifting things around in your future to then cause that thing to interrupt your life. And whatever the plans were for the universe, I believe that it starts to shift around what you start to create in your brain. That's why when I'm sick, I don't say I'm sick. I do not accept sickness. I do not accept negativity. I do not dwell on it. And I have before, but I've healed so much in 2025. But I just don't claim it, I'm not going to toe tag myself with things that I don't want. And I'm going to claim the things that I do because I can. Because I've gotten to a level of consciousness now that I know that I have the ability to have anything that I actually want. So if I don't have something, it's because I don't want it. You get what I'm saying? And so like I was having this conversation with a family member the other day talking about relationships. And obviously I'm separated and I'm happily separated. And they were asking me about dating. And while someone recently told me like, get on dating apps and do this and the third, I had to, I don't know why I have to constantly express to people after being single now or separated now for almost a year, I still don't see dating in my horizon anytime soon because that's not what I'm attracting for myself right now, because I'm having so much fun having my way without that. But I say that because when I did get separated and I did start to heal and I did go to, the therapy sessions and everything that I've done in 2025, I said, and I put it out into the air, like I said, the Oprah thing. I said, this is the person that I'm going to end up with. I don't care to get married again, but this is where I'm going to end up. This is the love that God is going to bless me with because of what I exude as a person. I am in no rush. I am not thinking that my life won't be complete without it, but this is what it looks like on the inside out, and I won't settle for anything less. And so now, almost a year after getting separated, I believe wholeheartedly I've already written the menu. It's like sending your menu and your order with the waiter, back to the kitchen. 9 times out of 10, what's going to come to the table. You're not about to order your food at the restaurant and then get up and go outside to the grocery store real quick and get some ingredients and go cook in your house and then come back to the restaurant and eat what you ordered. You feel me? Like, you just know that you've given it and you're going to receive it. And if you don't receive exactly what you ordered, you're going to send it back, And that's how I see the things that we attract into life. Once I say what's for me, it's mine. Once I say I want my chicken nuggets and french fries, that's how I see the big house and the beautiful husband. And my husband's going to be a chef. But my chef, beautiful, rich, wealthy, nurturing, providing, protecting husband, my beautiful home that can fit all of my family members, my vehicles that can give everyone a reliable source of transportation, my investments, all of the things that I know that are for me is what I've ordered in my restaurant of life. I've already sent that order with the waiter, add a lemon drop. And I don't need to go and then do anything else. And when, of course, with prayer and with manifestation or whatever it is that you lean on, I believe that, of course, there's work that goes behind it, but that doesn't mean that you have to innately say, okay, I want this, this, and a third, and now I have to obsess every day over it. The best way to really obtain anything is to let it be. Once you get to a level of consciousness where you realize it's going to happen regardless, it's not be lazy. It's not do things. But I don't see it as once I put it into the universe, I don't have to do anything else as far as working. I can just sit on my ass every day now and I don't have to, try. I can just sit back and it's going to come to me. It's going to come to you, but not that way. I believe that when I put that into the energy into the universe, it aligns my energy with my dream. Ooh, sorry. I'm listening to myself as I'm talking and I'm just like, okay, you spitting a little bit. Because I believe, like, say for instance, today, I asked God, because I pray, but I also still say manifestations and stuff like that, but it's still always through God. But today I said a prayer about something that I wanted, and I'm gonna be honest, it was about my fitness. Right now, my diet sucks. I'm consistent in the gym, but my diet sucks. So my consistency in the gym is often overshadowed by the fact that I am not disciplined in the kitchen. And so today I was sitting here, and as I'm like writing out the things that, or just thinking about what I need to do today and stuff like that, I'm like, the thought of what I need to do today starts to get overshadowed by the fact that I didn't go to the gym today. And then I'm thinking, why didn't I go to the gym? And I realized I haven't been disciplined in my workouts too, because I'm discouraged, And it's discouraging sometimes to put in hard work and you just not getting what you want necessarily. I'm not saying that my results aren't resulting, but it could be better. And I was like, you know what, Lord? My diet. I am going to be disciplined and strict. I'm going to prove to myself. I don't know how a high protein, almost 0 to no carbs diet is going to look for me. But I feel like that's what God is pulling me towards in order to get the results I need and to be as healthy as I want to be, and my gut health. I need to, focus on that. But I'm like, I know my diet is the pinnacle of my success as a girly that loves to be fit and feel fit. And so I was like, God, all right, I'm questioning how that's going to work for me, but I'm never going to find out if I don't at least do it. But I was like, you know what? Last week I said to myself, said to God, I was like, this is the body I want. I pulled up a picture on Pinterest and I said, this is it. This is the body. This is it. This is it. And I put it out there. Ever since I said that, I have constantly had little thoughts about the things I need to change. I've had motivation and discipline to say, okay, or to even pray more about, okay, my diet, and then to start doing research. And now I'm like pushing myself. It's like me putting out there what dream body I wanted gave me the energy and gave me just, I guess, the ambition to figure out how to study what I need to do and things like that. So it's not like I said, I want this body. And then I decide, well, no, I did actually decide to eat McDonald's after I said that, but you get it. Yes. It's not like I said, I want this body and was like, okay, next, I'm going to go ahead and eat 3 to 5,000 calories a day still. I'm going to stop going to the gym because I already said to God that I want this body. So I don't even really have to go to the gym anymore. No, I was already doing the work. I just asked God for the body I wanted, and God has given me resources and, videos and train and all these different things that are starting to come to light that are going to put me on the path of my dream body. That's how it works. That's what the work is behind it. Get that. Once you ask for something, you are placed onto the path of it. And that's how I see thinking big. I genuinely feel like so many people count themselves out and think that they are not worthy of something. There's plenty of times I've been on Zillow. Well, actually, no, I do be claiming those $1 million houses. But there's plenty of times I have been on Zillow and I'm like, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. This year I got pre-approved for a home loan for a certain amount, and the home that I wanted was way over that amount. And I didn't, of course, put in an offer, but I was like, I was discouraged, And I feel like once that discourage starts to happen because you're thinking small or you're just thinking about your budget, I feel like you start to count yourself out of things that are meant for you. And so I've decided that I'm just going to work on my credit more. I'm going to save more, which I did. Thank God I saved what I need for my dream home. But I was like, I'm going to save more. I'm going to work on my credit more. I'm going to invest more because I'm not going to put in an offer for a lesser house. I'm going to build up. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to get the pre-approval again, but this time the pre-approval will be over $1 million, And if it's not over $1 million, because I really don't even want a pre-approval that's over $1 million. I want the house I want, but I don't want to have to even think about spending that much, So once I'm aligning myself with the path of what I want and knowing that I'm going to get it because I'm aligning my behavior with the outcome. So that's me thinking big, but that's also me telling you, think big, BICTTHCXYZ. Like, please. Because one of my favorite songs right now is The Largest by Big X The Plug. I play that song all the time because that's what I have to think of myself. And that's what I have to think of my life. I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. And that doesn't mean you're better than someone else. It just means you're the biggest version of you, the largest version of you, the best version of you, because you're not competing with anyone else. For the good of all and to the harm of none, you are receiving everything meant for you. Once you stop thinking about the traffic around you and who's doing what and who has what in comparison, you start to get tunnel vision on your road ahead. And you don't even think about what other people are doing. Even if you see it on Instagram, you stop seeing it from the lens of envy and start seeing it from the lens of God is in the neighborhood. She's succeeding. Oh, I'm damn sure finna succeed. And it's not like, oh, she's succeeding. I got to do bigger because I got to be better than her. No, it's in the neighborhood. Okay? We're all about to eat. As long as you start aligning yourself with the biggest and the largest version of you. Now, clearly I have a podcast because I like to yap, and this was a yap session, but I pray that what I said was construed properly because it is a Mercury retrograde and, communication. But I am grateful for you being here and for you even staying this long. And if you've stayed this long, clearly you like me. So comment, share this podcast to somebody that needs it, because I'm telling you, the more of us that think big, the bigger it's about to get, the better it's about to get. We're not thinking about the economy right now. We're thinking about the versions of us that we're about to be. Fallout recession stuff. There is no recession when you know where you're about to be. Okay? Well, no, it is a recession because, it's a lot going on. Share this. And I'm going to see you next week. Bye, friend, for now.